way you could speak directly to everybody coming
Yeah.
through. That's what we were kind of wanting.
Yeah, well, and that's what I was telling them before you go. My biggest thing, we go through the pile auctions, you've been to them, you don't have
Yeah.
it. So you get up there and say what you want to say, but it ain't a question and answer. You get up there, hey, I'm Paul,
the Great American Beater Bash, where memories are made and mistakes may happen.
Everybody needs to know May 2nd. That's Derby Day. Derby Day. Think Derby Day. Derby Day.
Let's
Derby
go!
Day. The influencer class, that's my shtick at this demolition derby that I'm doing. I'm bringing in some people in the entertainment space, if you will, to come and drive in their first demolition derby. You can literally go out and buy a $500 shunt box that may have fourth gear out, whatever. You're not going to need it. And then you do a very basic preparation and bring it. And you pay $40 for a chance at $1,000.
Mortal Theory.
We've got concessions, and then the Wicked Wieners truck's going to be there slanging hot dogs, slanging some glizzies. Freeman Brothers is sponsoring a car. I've got Boom Bad Fireworks sponsoring a car. Charlie Mike's at Dispensary is sponsoring a car. Mortal Theory themselves is sponsoring a car. There's going to be a Mortal Theory car. The list goes on. If anybody wants to sponsor one of these cars, this is the deal. I am sourcing the cars, preparing the cars, and then having them painted. And then the influencer, which we can match influencers to sponsors. It's there's no real feasible reason not to come. Unless
That's what she said.
yeah, to come. But
Come join the event and invite all your friends.
come see me at the Great American Beater Bash, Litchfield, Kentucky, May 2nd, Grayson County Fairgrounds, where legends are made.
Located at 511 South Main Street, Corbin, Kentucky, Sugar Booger's Custom Cakes has been bringing delicious treats to the Tri-County area for over a decade. Whether it be a cupcake, cookie, cake pop, brownie, or a signature one-of-a-kind custom cake that will be the star of any event, Sugar Boogers has you covered. Easy online ordering with polite, knowledgeable staff guaranteed to make each experience easy and stress-free. Go check them out on Facebook or give them a call for a free estimate. Sugar Boogers Custom Cakes for all occasions, 606-344-6595.
Are you looking for somewhere in Corbin, Kentucky to host your next event? Here we have it at Harvey's on Main at 115 Main Street. Let's check it out. Step into timeless charm and unforgettable elegance at this stunning historic venue. With breathtaking architectural details and an inviting open floor layout, Harvey's is the perfect setting for your next special event. Delight in the breathtaking bar complete with tap, a fully equipped kitchen for seamless catering, clean and accessible restrooms, a beautiful elevated stage for speakers, performers, or presenters, and for weddings and formal events, relish in the comfort and privacy of the bridal suite. Whether you're hosting an intimate gathering or a large celebration, Harvey's on Main provides the perfect scene to create lasting memories. Thoughtfully designed by the owner, who will be by your side every step of the way to ensure all your wants and needs are met. Book today and let Harvey's bring your vision to life.
Are you a jerky jerk?
You're holding it, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Just give me 1 second.
RJ's Beef Jerky. Real jerky for real jerky jerks.
Can you give me a piece?
Yeah, of course.
Kick off your boots, come gather round. We're digging up secrets that can't stay down. Bigfoot's out there in the midnight air. Aliens watching from who knows where. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien, CIA. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. From small town whispers to Jerry Cupid is gonna tell you why. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien secrets to break. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. Footsteps in the woods, lights in the sky. Some call it crazy, we just ask why. Laugh if you wanna, but you just might see there's more to the world than they want it to be. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien secrets to break. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. Truth or a tale, come and see. We're gonna have some fun, y'all.
In a world where feelings are protected and men have traded big, beautiful beards for man purses and man buns, comes to you a podcast you always wanted and never knew you needed. A podcast where feelings are left at the door and conversations happen unfiltered and no sugarcoating. What is going on, No Sugarcoating Podcast fans? Paul Buchanan wanted to reach out. The month of April is going to be full of candidates. We're going to see a lot of different people from a lot of different positions running, primarily in Laurel County and the surrounding areas. The No Sugarcoating Podcast crew wanted to let you know that we are by no means journalists. Do not come to our show expecting breaking news in regards to what's going on in the elections. We simply have discussions. We are not journalists. We are not a news show. We have discussions. We set our candidates in front of a screen where they can read the messages and they can answer the ones they want to. And we try to include the people watching's questions to the candidates. However, we're unable to get to all of them, and some of the questions the candidates cannot answer. They're just legally bound to not answering the questions. Again, and we can't make them tell the truth either, guys. So, just wanted to kind of let you guys know ahead of time. Hopefully, you'll see this before every episode of a candidate. But, yeah, guys, we're not a news crew. We don't pretend to be journalists. We have discussions. We try to bring out the best of everyone that comes here. We have no gotcha that we're trying to do to any candidate. With that said, I hope you guys enjoy the podcast. Have a great day. What is going on? Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, whatever you're watching the show on. Please let me know if there's no sound right away before the guys let me continue. A little gun shy about doing the introductions now. So if the sound is good,
I'm just kidding.
guys, I'm so excited. We've started a Whitley County Wednesday to give the Whitley County candidates an opportunity to come on the show and speak. We were hopeful to have a debate tonight. It would have been the first debate that we'd done on the show. However, we just couldn't get in contact with Scott Bunch. He's running for sheriff. However, we have the one and only sheriff of Whitley County here tonight, Mr. Bill Elliotte. So we're just going to make this an interview.
Yeah, he's nervous as a house cat.
I don't know why.
Well, if you can stand in front of a crowd and talk, this should be a breeze.
There we go.
We probably should have put a pie on the table.
Charge me for it.
So, you want to tell us about yourself, your upbringing? Let's just get to know you first.
Okay.
At the very beginning.
Yeah.
To what got you here.
Okay.
Take as long as you need.
This started you know, as a kid, I grew up in Jellicoe, Tennessee. The first growing up, that's where I lived a lot. My mom and dad was young when they had me, so spent a lot of time with my grandparents. So my grandfather was chief of police of Jellicoe.
So I didn't know that about you.
So my earliest memories I ever have is wanting to be a police officer, and I've never wanted to do nothing else at that point. While I was in 6th grade, my grandparents sold out in Tennessee and moved across the line because the line run through town anyway. And I guess when I went to 7th grade at Whitley County, that's the first time I consciously remember seeing a state trooper. Mm-hmm. So from that point on, I went from wanting to be a police officer to wanting to be a state trooper. And so that's how the law enforcement part started. I graduated from Whitley County in '89. Went to Eastern, ended up getting a degree in police administration there. You know, I worked for my uncle at his garage in Williamsburg right through high school and college. But my first law enforcement job was with Campbell County, Tennessee. I became a deputy down there. I still work there while I was finishing my degree up. Went to police academy in Nashville at the Tennessee Law Enforcement Training Academy, graduated from there. But my ultimate dream was to be a Kentucky State Trooper. So in 1996, I started February the 4th of 1996 in State Police Academy in Frankfort.
So you've done 2 different academies. Did you say you did one in Nashville and one in Frankfort?
Yes, sir. Once I graduated the academy, I went to Harlan Post, where I was mostly here in Knox County, just next door to home, and stayed there about 3 years and 3 or 4 months. Transferred back to Whitley County, where I done the majority of my career here. When I promoted sergeant, went to Columbia Post, promoted to lieutenant. I went to Richmond Post, but each time I promoted, I'd work my way back to London Post. That's the way you have to do. You got to take what they offer you or turn the promotion down. So what rank did you finish out being in the Kentucky State Police? I was a lieutenant over investigations at the London Post.
That's pretty awesome.
Well, and I wasn't ready to retire. It was a God thing. I started studying for captain, and man, I just got this feeling to leave. Lord told me to leave, and so I kept studying for captain tests. Started checking in on retirement papers, and I don't know, a few weeks before I was due to retire, the commissioner, it's a commissioner now, P.J. Burnett, he was our major. He came down and met with me. He said, you're going to get promoted to captain. And he said, I want to tell you that. So if you decided you didn't want to retire, I said, I never thought I'd turn a captain spot down. I said, but the Lord's told me to leave. And I said, if I don't leave, I'm afraid something bad will happen. So I retired. 6 days after I retired, everybody that's getting promoted got promoted. So if I'd have stayed 6 more days, I'd have been promoted to captain. When I left there, I had to set out 90 days due to retirement, with our retirement, and then I come straight to work for Corbin PD, working in the Corbin school systems here. And I was working there a little over 4 years when I got elected sheriff and took office. So I've been here as sheriff the last 3 years and 4 months.
So that's awesome. What's awesome is that a guy that goes from lieutenant in the Kentucky State Police is an SRO.
You got it.
That's where God guided you to be with the kids.
And it was very. I'm gonna tell you a funny story about that. So my first 2 years, I was at Corbin Middle School. So, and it's very rewarding job working with these kids. And I'll just be honest with you, I don't like mean kids, but I even got attached to some of them because we dealt with them so much.
Right.
You see the life they live at home. A lot of times schools, their only escape from that.
Right.
But I'm going to give you...
That's true.
So you got to go back to 2018. So I go around and eat with kids at the school, and you learn the different kids. You'd set different tables and eat with different kids every day. And some of them you get to develop really good relationships all through. So I was recently, I hired one of the 6th graders that sat with me that I sat with and ate lunch, he now works for me in my office, and I think that's a pretty good story, you know.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because that's really where kids kind of get an idea what the police is in school and stuff. So being able to be that person that years later that same kid wants to work for means that you did it right. You know what I mean? It's got to mean that you did it right. You left an impression on that kid, and you're like, you know, maybe I'd like to be at the police, or I'd work for the police, or whatever. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, he works my front office. I've got another one I've had since the same time. He's in the process right now. He eventually wants to be a state trooper. The other one does, and he's going to college, but he's 21 now, so he's going to work for me in the courthouse. So I'll basically have two of my guys I had since elementary or middle school that'll be working with me.
That's awesome. Now, there's another sheriff that just gave you a shout out watching tonight.
Yeah, I gave him one the other night. He was sitting here and I texted him. He done a great job, John. You done a good job.
He did do a good
job.
job.
I want to thank John, man. He is back in September, 2.5 weeks before tax season started, I had an issue with some of my office staff, and they ended up leaving the department 2.5 weeks before tax season started.
When they're really needed.
Yeah, and there's just so much to that. So my first call for anything I do is the executive director of the Sheriff's Association. His name's Jerry Wagner. Great guy. If you have any questions, he's the one. But we also rely, as a new sheriff, I rely on these older sheriffs like John and Mike Smith and Mitch Williamson out of Bell County. So when I had an issue, I called these sheriffs, and John went out of his way. He hooked me up with his person in the office up there, my new bookkeeper. That's her go-to person, and I thank John for that because, we have to lean on each other. You know, this is John's, he's in his 16th year and probably going to go up to at least 20 years. And so he's a more senior sheriff than me, and he is able to help me in a big way. But not only here, but me and John work state police together, so we've got a history there.
Well, I think it's nice to hear that the sheriffs do work together, that all the sheriffs know one another and they work together, and it's a little comforting to hear that, you know, our sheriff is friends with the other sheriffs in the area. You know what I mean? Like, if you can say, I can pick up the phone and call John, I've got this problem going on, or Mike, what's going on? That means you have great working relationships with all the other sheriffs.
Yep.
And that's pretty comforting as somebody voting to know.
Yes.
Is that you have relationships with these folks.
I'll tell you, my first couple weeks in office, because I did have a 5-year career in Tennessee, I remember my first 2 weeks in office, they was having issues with different things, and I was able to pick up a phone, make a call to the captain of the Highway Patrol in Knoxville because I had a personal relationship with him. And something else was out west. I was able to pick up my phone and call that person, and that's over your career, you build a network, I guess, is the best, and I've been fortunate enough. I've got a huge network, and I enjoy, you know, we got to help each other. Just like you said, we can call on each other.
Well, again, and I keep going back to this because I'm trying to read some of the comments that are coming through. I can't see the screen, guys, so I'm just kind of running blind here. I know a lot of people are saying hello to Bill and talking very highly of him, but to hear that you go from a lieutenant to an SRO, and I don't mean to keep going to this, but I mean that means you have a good nature with kids and you have a good leadership nature, right? I mean, because officer is still a lieutenant, right?
Yes.
Even in the police?
Yes.
But to be on both sides of that spectrum.
Yeah.
Because when I first heard it, I was like, that's kind of humbling, right? You go from leading a detective group to being the guy eating food with the kids.
Right.
But you just sat here and said, you know, I took some time, but you got to enjoy that. You kind of had to come around to it, because just try to imagine a guy leading a bunch of men, and he's like, and his next position is almost sit here and have lunch with these kids.
Well, not only, I mean, looking at the comments coming in and stuff, you got a really good relationship with the public also.
Right.
You know, so that in my opinion is something really good. You know.
I don't take that for granted either. I promise you I don't. I really appreciate comments. Right there, one of those is the kid I was working for me. Next one I worked with him. The bottom one there, he's my old college roommate from Eastern. He's from Nicholasville or Lexington, Nicholasville area. So that's your network too.
So let me ask you this: what all, since being sheriff, have you been able to do for the department? What all have you seen that you were able to correct, or things that you felt like that? Because I mean, when you ran, you talked about things that you would do. Were you able to get a lot of those done this first 4 years?
There was so much to do. I mean, I felt like we started from scratch. However, we didn't. Right before I took office, I was very fortunate. The county had bought 6 new cruisers at that point, so we started off with a few good, with some new cruisers, and the rest weren't that good. There's just been so much. There was no accountability as far as equipment, as far as evidence. The guys didn't have the basic equipment they needed to do. It'd be like you trying to have a podcast and you didn't have a microphone. I mean, you can't do your job if you don't have the equipment. Case management. The cases that were turned in on paper were draft copies. There was never it was never a reviewed. It was never reviewed. That evidence room, there was boxes of evidence that's never been logged in, just piled in the evidence room. We went through, and I'm going to say this, a sheriff is only as good as his chief deputy, and I have a really good chief deputy, and he's very OCD when it comes to things, He got in that evidence room, him and one of the other guys, it's the 2 evidence custodians. I mean, there was thousands and thousands of dollars in cash just in the evidence room. A lot of it had been awarded to the sheriff's department, but they didn't know how to go about using it, even though it's there. So there was one, it's over $20,000 that he put in the bank and got the proper accounts going. Policy was very minimal, policy procedure. There's just so much. I mean, I really felt like we started at ground level building a sheriff's department.
What's it? Well, I mean, like you said, your department's only as good as the people that's running it.
You're right.
And I mean, you brought in Tony Dingus.
Dingus, yep.
And he's a great guy.
Yeah.
And you got some of the, in my opinion, some of the most top-notch deputies around. Now, you said like your evidence room, you had to redo how you guys took in evidence. You had to try to get new equipment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it would have been nice if you had that stuff your first 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
Or, if it was already there, but to have to use your time to build something.
Yeah, we started, and the state police is over the records section for all law enforcement agencies. So if we do something, it goes to the state police. They were to the point, well, when I was a lieutenant, I remember records calling down, wanting me to go talk to sheriff about them going computerized because they don't want paper. They want stuff done on computer.
Right.
So when I took office, there was no computers in the cars. We reach out. We end up getting some computers donated to us from the state police out of surplus, and we used those until this past fall. And I guess with the new Windows updates and stuff, it went to the computers started crashing, and so we ended up having to buy all brand new MDTs. But we was fortunate we was able to do that this year. So we spent over $30,000 in for new computers for our guys in the car. We've got the Wi-Fi boxes in there so they can we get our live dispatch on the computer. We got printers in the car.
I forgot that's
I forgot about that, but that's probably where you know me from, is because I did those computers at TexWork.
You did, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's it. I knew you, and I was like,
Yeah.
"We're so." Let's see, man.
Well, it seems like you brought an agency or a department out of the Stone Age.
Yeah.
And that's no disrespect to the prior sheriff.
all those old computers that were even donated to them were we worked hard to try to keep them running.
Yeah, and I mean, they didn't even have first aid kits in their car. I'm talking so.
It was rough.
We got all new PBTs for everybody. Everybody's in. Not only do we have everybody in body armor now, we also have the hard armor too. The plates for bigger rounds. We backup weapons. We purchased all new backup weapons. Man, I don't know.
So how many new cruisers have you been able to get since you've been on?
Well, it's hard for a small department when it comes to buying cars. So a lot of times the physical court will step in, and so they had just got 6 when right 2 or 3 months before I took office. So we had those. About 4 months in, we talked with judge executive and magistrates, and they ended up buying us 5 more cruisers, new ones, and since then I know last year we bought 3 used ones for our court security. They do our transports of juveniles and stuff like that. And we've had a few wrecks and we've replaced them. But I would say since office we have bought, with the judge executive and the magistrates, what they've bought, we probably ended up with, last 3 years, probably 15, 16 cars. I ain't got an exact number. I'd have to set count them up.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing to think that I'm going to take this department and we're going to turn this around. And what's sad is, and I don't mean sad, but I mean, imagine how much further you would be if you didn't have to deal with all that at the beginning.
I was thinking that exact same thing the other day. I thought, man, if we had been at this spot when we took office, how far further we would have been, So,
Right. Just looking at the previous sheriff, that's why it was like that.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't win.
I mean, I feel like just Whitley County in
I'm
general.
just saying. 'Cause
I feel like just Whitley County in general gets overlooked tremendously.
Yeah, I mean, our guys, I understand I understand that.
Yeah.
And it ain't just us. When I look, because when we go to the sheriff's conference, there's 120 counties. Most of the sheriffs are there. I think this past year, they said 114 of the 120 was actually there. Some can't be there. Year before last, John couldn't be there. He had the shooter on the interstate. John couldn't be there for legitimate reasons. Right. So they are some. But when we go in there, and we're a very small department, when we look at, roughly 10 road deputies, so. But when you go here and you realize all the departments, it's even smaller than we are, and some of the budget restraints that's put on them, and so these counties just so small. I do not know how they get by. I had one of the guys tell me he saw a sheriff of one of the eastern Kentucky counties. The county only budgeted them $6,000 a year for vehicle maintenance.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Wow.
So it's a very small county, but still, how do you get by?
4 brake changes and you're wiped out.
Well, let me give you an example. We're in Dodge. Most of our vehicles are Dodge Durangos. When we replace front brakes and rotors, it's $1,000 for front brakes and rotors. And I mean,
that's why I said 4 brake changes. You're wiped out.
Yeah.
So, Whitley County's a huge area too. I don't think people realize how big Whitley County is.
We're 444 square miles, and we have a population somewhere between 36 and 37,000.
Well, let me just say, it was very comforting that you knew that right off the top of your head.
I actually knew that too. Listen, I was going to throw something at you. I sat and broke the math down. And this to give you perspective how many people is going to see you over the course of the next 28 days. If you take our viewers that we've been averaging over the past 28 days, we've touched every person in Whitley County.
Really?
Per day.
Per day?
Per day. we touch
Yeah, we've got
the amount of
2
Whitley
million
County.
views in the past 28 days.
Well, that's amazing.
Yep.
Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for coming.
So that should help you out a little bit.
Well, sounds like a missed opportunity for somebody else.
It does. It does. It sounds like a missed opportunity for the man that should have been sitting in this seat right here.
So, what does the next 4 years look like for you? I mean, what are you trying to do for the next 4?
Well, we still want to continue to build the department, but it's just like there's just so much you want to get done. And one of the problems that we have is we're Whitley County, we're 911 center. We got a 911 center. So when you're in Whitley County and you call 911, if it's not in the city, if it's in the city of Corbin, Corbin's got their own 911. But in Whitley County, other than the city, if you call 911, if you're outside of Williamsburg City, you're calling the sheriff's department. And so you got to realize this happened a few months ago. I was in Tattersall on a call, and we were busy. And you got with roughly 10 to 12 deputies. You got to imagine there's usually 2 to 3 at the most out at a time. So I've been on Tattersall, had to go all the way to the state line. And as soon as I got done, I had another call in Tattersall. So you're looking 30-minute drive or a 30-mile drive each way.
Yeah.
There's something come right there I want to touch on if that's okay.
I'd say that's a little. Oh, I say that's a little more than 30 miles. I ain't just from the. I'm wanting to say 3 Point, but right there where KFC is in Williamsburg, ain't from there to the state line 20 miles.
No, it's about 11.
Oh, that's 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exit 11, Jericho. That means there's 11 more miles of Kentucky left.
The old road, though. You know, I thought the old road there was about 20 miles.
You know, we're going to get good and bad questions on here, but there's somebody asking if you all don't care if I touch on
No, please. Please do.
You got
Let's
the
hear
floor.
about how them deputies won't work the interstate. And I don't care a bit to touch on that.
Sure. I'm glad you are.
As sheriff, we have to make decisions. If I had the road deputies that we're not the size of Laurel County. We don't have the tax base that Laurel County has. Look how many businesses in Laurel County. We just don't have that. So we are so busy on calls that I made the decision. And here's when I was a state trooper here, there was always 6 and sometimes 7 troopers assigned to Whitley County. Now they have 3 or 4 troopers assigned to Whitley County. So I ain't bad mouthing them. They don't have the manpower either. Mm-hmm. But I can't make them answer a call if my dispatch calls. I can't make them answer a call in Frakes, or I can't make them answer a wreck down here on the Falls Road. One thing I do from prior experience, I've been at posts many times, at state police posts and interstate, and it was usually Rockcastle or Whitley. And Captain would come in there, he said, man, the interstate's blocked in Whitley County. He said, they're calling from Frankfort. We got to get that interstate open. Go down there and see if you can help them, offer resources. So with our manpower, and here's what I tell everybody, I made the decision we were not going to work I-75. And the state police gets federal funding, they can work I-75. And here's how I explain that. If I've got 2 deputies out in a county 445 square miles, and your wife's home at 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're at work, and you're out in Gatliff, and somebody's kicking the door in on your wife and kids, would you rather my deputies to be going to your wife, or would you rather them be sitting on the interstate because it's blocked by a tractor and trailer? I'm elected to serve the people of Whitley County, and I choose to serve people of Whitley County. 99 out of 100 people passing on that interstate that we deal with, passing through, and I want to be able to go to your wife if somebody's kicking the door in on her.
Well, I'm just curious why that person thinks the interstate's more important than serving the people of Whitley County.
I don't think they were. I think they were just asking the why.
Well, I've taken a lot of criticism over that, and I don't care to any decision I've made. I don't care to face head on and explain it.
Well, I mean, when you break it down like that, it makes sense. If you only have 2 or 3 deputies out running, then why do you want to tie one up for a couple hours on the interstate? You're not only putting one of your deputies in danger because he's running alone or only with somebody else,
right?
But imagine the people
Right.
that aren't getting their calls answered because Because I mean, you said you running maybe 10 or 12 people on the road, right?
Right.
That's it, guys.
That's for 24/7. So
that's it. 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. There's only maybe 12 deputies running the roads in Whitley County. I wouldn't want one tied up on the interstate, and that's no disrespect for the lady that asked the question.
No, right.
I'm glad you answered it that way because it makes sense to me why you wouldn't do that, because we do
Seems
that.
like we need volunteer
How
sheriff's deputies.
how do you
Correct, right?
how do you divide your deputies up, like between all of Whitley County?
Well, if I had one thing that I had the power to fix, it would be response times to calls. And so that's out of my control. And ideally, an ideal situation would be we had enough deputies we could have, okay, you're in this zone or this area, you're going to stay in that area, you're going to stay in his. But it just don't work that way. If, like I told you earlier, I was in Tattersall and had to go to the state line, then all the way back to the state line. And, you know, if I'm assigned to this North District, if we did that and I got tied up on a wreck or a DUI, which takes hours by the time you get in the hospital and get blood drawn and all that.
Right.
And then there's another call come in, the other one's going to have to come anyway. So we do our best, like, just to, I'll give you an example. Sometimes we do. It won't be busy, and you'll check with another unit, and you'll say, where you at? And he'll say, I'm down around Williamsburg or Pleasant View. I'll say, well, I'm just going to stay on North End just in case something comes in. We try to do that as much as possible, but when you got such a large area, it's just a limited. And listen, the only way I know to solve that is more money, but our tax base is what it is. It ain't no fault to our fiscal court. It ain't no fault to them. They've give us more money than when I first took office. They've give us more money. So it ain't no fault to them. It's just the nature of the beast when you got these small departments. So I kind of lost my train of thought. I may have stepped all around that, but I didn't mean to.
No, I think you explained it perfectly.
Yeah. How many zones, you calling them zones, how many zones do Whitley
don't.
County?
I said if we did that.
Oh.
But we don't do that because it just is not feasible for us to do. And going back to that interstate situation, of course we travel the interstate. If we see something, we'll deal with it if we're traveling interstate. If the state police gets out there and they do need assistance with something, we will send somebody out there. Especially in the winter, they'll get multiple wrecks out there. They can't work all those, you know.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
So we'll go and assist there.
Oh, some big comments coming in.
That's what I was trying to read what was coming into.
Everybody's just giving him props. He's the best they've worked with. So
yeah.
So are you trying to grow, like get more deputies and stuff? Or?
I would love to do that, but it would take more money, and it would be, you know, different. And we're trying to, you know, like we have done so much. Like a lot of this equipment I mentioned earlier, that was from us using budget money where we've saved. Or here and there, and we've been able to purchase stuff. We've applied for grants we've received for different things. Fiscal court stepped in and, like I said, bought cars and different things. So to grow, it takes us working together, you know, and that's what I want to keep working on there. So we just want to grow, and I'm gonna give you an example. We and these numbers aren't exact, but they're real close according to dispatch. The closest thing we have to being able to track calls is it's our CAD numbers. It's computer-aided dispatch. And so for the year 2025, my department, as the size it is, we responded to 10,300 CADs. And some of them are minor, some of them are major, but that's 10,300 CADed events.
That's almost roughly 1,000 events per officer in 365 days.
Yeah, and then I'm going to give you an example. Williamsburg, who has more officers than we had, they had 60-some hundred CADed events. Corbin, who has more officers than we had, they had around 9,000 CADed events. So that just gives you a perspective on how busy we are.
So that's amazing.
Yeah.
So to kind of go on with what are you wanting to accomplish in the 4 years? I think that we kind of got skirted by wanting to answer that question.
Yeah, and I apologize.
No. I'm glad you did. I'd rather their questions be answered than mine. So.
I would like to grow the department. I'd like to figure out a way and work with the physical court, maybe for some more money for more deputies, and be able to keep officers and train some. Right now, you get so many officers, they bounce around from department to department, and if I hire an officer today, he's never been to the police academy. If I hire him today, it's basically a year from now before I get any use out of him, because you got to go through the hiring process, which takes 2 to 3 months. Then you'll have them. Then they go to academy, which is over 6 months. So right there's 9 months alone. Then you got FTO when they get out of the academy. You got to train them. So you really, if I hired somebody today, we wouldn't get that's never been a police officer. You wouldn't get use out of them for a year. So that's why if you got a certified officer willing to come, you always try to take a certified officer. But my goal is I would like to hire some untrained officers and send them to the academy and train them the right way, where they don't have bad habits already, and they will be dedicated to you. And
right.
And I've seen a couple since I've been, and they're most of the two most dedicated officers I've got. I've sent them to the academy, and they're thankful, and I'm thankful for them. And so I'd like to continue. There's still more equipment I want the guys to get. Major Dingus told me the other day, he said, I can't believe I'm saying this. He said, we've got as good equipment as the state police has got now. And I thought, well, that's a compliment.
Right. Don't hate that. That's a lot of hard work.
Great.
Well, this might help you. I don't know if you can answer it or not, but what's like an average base pay of a fresh, untrained officer?
We would probably, and I ain't going, somewhere around $17 an hour. Then once they're out of the academy, we're up to 20, and then once they're on a year, we're going more than that. And to pay what we're paying now, I had to basically take 2 full-time positions and kind of eliminate them to divide that pay up. And here's why. When I give you those numbers on calls, our guys are run to death. I mean, we run to death. And I'm going to give you an example. Great guy, used to work for me, been in Sheriff's Department for years. He left and went to Williamsburg to go to Cumberland College as a police officer on the college. Well, they work 3 12-hour shifts, so that's 36 hours. They get paid for 4 hours of maintenance, and they're off 4 days straight. How do you compete with that? And this guy farms, so I can't fault him for leaving to go somewhere where he works a lot less. He can still farm because he farms.
Right. Yep.
And I've had people. I'll never fault anybody for leaving to better themselves. Or I'll give you an example. I lost a deputy had been in the Sheriff's Department for 24 years. Great guy, great friend. Him and his brothers are friends. He'd wanted to be a park ranger. That's what he wants to finish his career out. So I went and done everything I could to help him be a park ranger.
Yeah.
Because the ones doing his background used to be with state police, I was able to help him, and he's a friend today. He'll tell you how well the Sheriff's Department's been run. But if you truly care about these people, even though you're going to suffer, your department's going to suffer, you can't hold people back from bettering themselves or doing something they really want to do. I'll never stand in the way of that.
And based off them numbers you give, roughly figuring that's 27 to 30 calls a day.
Yeah,
that your department does.
I divided that up, and it come to like 28 point something.
Yeah.
CAT events a day. So I'll give you another area that I'm proud of is our court security team over there. We have really brought that around. I hired a retired fish and wildlife captain. He is a captain. His name's Stuart Bryan. I hired him to basically run the judicial center and get it lined out. And I'll never forget, I've been in office 1 month, and we'd made a lot of changes over there. And we were in one of the circuit judges' office, and Dan Blue and Paul Winchester was there, and they both looked and said, we cannot believe that you can make this big a change in 1 month in this building over here. Because nobody's really ever it was, I guess, I don't know this, I'm just speculating it from talking to them. The Judicial Center and Court Security is more of a distraction than they were concerned about it, so we put a lot of effort in, and I'm proud of, I got some great employees over there.
That's awesome. So Sylvia wants to know if you could speak on the drug problem in the county.
Listen, there is a drug problem in every county, and we are. My guys are out working, and we set up. One of the things we did, and we lost my train of thought here. Hold on, just road checkpoints, and whether you like them or whether you don't, road checks serve a purpose. And one of the things we do, they get you out in the community. You're seen in the community. It'll get you. A lot of our drug stuff comes from road checks and traffic stops. And the bad thing about, you can call me up and say, Paul's selling dope at his house, and I just can't go kick Paul's door in. So you have to try to develop an informant. You got to try to make buys from them. And you got to make more than one buy. You got to develop a pattern. You got to make the buys. And there's a lot of time in that. And so that's one of the areas that I'm hoping to really improve on, because we know there's a drug problem. Every county has it. And it's just, I don't know that we can ever win the drug problem, but we will do our part to fight the drug problem.
Right. So I 100% did not steal anything from Walmart. Zach did not see anything. just to say,
I think he's got some evidence. He said he's sending. So
I'm surprised he didn't call me fat. That's kind of how he rolls, ain't it?
That's how he does.
Now it's I've stole something.
Yeah.
Anyways, so now with you being the SRO stuff, what do you have any programs for the kids in the area? Are you planning on implementing any kind of programs?
You know,
again, I know that your guys. I asked the sheriff the same thing. He's like, Paul, I can't go to schools unless they invite me into schools.
Right. And you know, like one of the things I had considered before taking office is the DARE program. DARE program is kind of dated, I guess.
Well, that's what he said. And the only thing that let me tell you why I love the DARE program. Because it goes to the school.
Right.
The parents that are going to take kids to a program are probably, the kids aren't probably the kids that need to be seen. Does that make sense? If a parent takes a kid to the program, then the parents got time to be with the kid.
I do. I understand that.
And a lot of the kids at schools.
Most parents that don't take their kids there don't want to be around the police for some reason.
Right. Well, but you get to catch them in a neutral kind of place where they feel safe anyways, because mom and dad's not around and they can kind of maybe talk more freely or whatever. I just know personally, even, and I guarantee you, John Root's got probably a top-notch program.
Yeah.
But I know that my parents, we had one car. My dad done everything he could. He'd run off here, make money, run off here to make money, and there wasn't a schedule that we could keep. I couldn't even play a lot of sports in high school because I couldn't get a ride there.
Yeah.
And being able to bring it to the school is
Oh, Yuns are both right on that, I think. Like my mama raised me most of my life, and she wasn't taking me nowhere.
Right.
It ain't that she didn't want to be around the cops. It's just she wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
That's just plain and simple.
Yeah.
If I wanted to do something, I had to find my own. Yeah.
And I think you just hit on something. I spent a lot of time with my grandparents, you know. But you see so many of the kids we deal with, you wouldn't believe the amount of grandparents raising children in all of eastern Kentucky in our area.
Yeah.
And
Ronnie's one of them.
Yeah. This is my grandchild.
Well, and not all of them, but a lot of them, they miss out on things that other children their age get to do, because if their parents were in their lives, they would be involved in more sports and they would be involved in this. But the grandparents are older, and like you said, your grandmother wasn't driving you there. And so a lot of these kids, they miss out. Now, don't get me wrong, they're in a great home. They got a great home life. But
right.
The, I can't think the word I'm looking for, but socialization.
Yep.
They miss out a lot of that because we have, I can't tell you the number. I respond a lot with social services. So you just wouldn't believe the number of the homes. The majority of these kids are being raised by grandparents.
Oh, I know.
I'm thankful they got those grandparents.
I know in
'cause
Whitley County, it's probably high.
Yeah. Well, I hit on something there. I mentioned social services.
It's a big deal in Whitley County.
Yeah. So social services, within 2 or 3 months of taking office, social workers showed up at my office with this decorative plaque for my office wall, and said all the people at the office wanted to give that to me because I would always respond with them and make them a priority, and I appreciate that. And so that was kind of that was more important to me than big awards you might receive. You know, people noticing and appreciating what you do to help them. You know.
Like I said, you were at my house just a couple days ago by mistake.
Yeah.
You know, I thought it was kind of odd. I thought he was coming to the house to ask for my vote. No, he was working. He wasn't working at my address. Let me clear that up. I'm not a thief.
There, didn't he?
I was going for help. I was asking Paul, do you know where? It's so funny. I'd been to every house on that. I like, there's this address does not exist. So I knocked on the door beside of him. That woman didn't know, so I go next door. I said, I'm going to try this one. And I knock on the door, and as he's coming to the door, I turn around, and on the opposite side of the road up on the bank is the address I'm looking for after all that. He said, yeah. So
I was like, yeah, Bill, yeah, we're voting. We're going to be voting. And he goes, no, I'm actually looking for an address. And I just thought it was odd that the sheriff was out working.
Well, listen,
you know, and he wasn't politicking at my house. He didn't come to my house to ask for a vote. I don't know what he was going to somebody's house for. He wasn't coming to my house for. But anyways, I just thought it was odd and very respectable too.
Yeah. Well,
it's election time and you're out in a cruiser.
Well, he done said that the budget's low, so you know you gotta work it.
I honestly, you can ask the guys that work for me. You can ask the family. I work somewhere 70 to 80 hours a week, and it ain't because I have to work all those hours, but when you love what you do, it makes it easy. I tell this when I go to all these auctions we've been going to, and I mean this with everything in me. I told you all I ever want to do is be a state trooper. Right. I got to fulfill that dream. And that was my ultimate goal. The last 3 years and 4 months of my career have been the absolute best time of my career, and I've worked harder than I've ever worked in my life because I just feel like as your sheriff, I'm in a position where I can help people. If something's wrong, I ain't doing it. I don't care who it makes mad. If something's right, we're going to do it. And so it's just been, I never thought nothing would surpass my years with state police, but serving as sheriff has been the biggest honor I've ever had.
Well, we're currently not swimming in the mud that London is.
Oh, Lord. Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, what have you heard any crazy rumors about you that you'd like to address? Like, we got to ask the mayor, and it was kind of fun because he said that he was a cartel leader. And then we asked John, and John's not gay.
I saw that, yeah.
But, I mean, is there any crazy rumors that you could dismiss that you've heard about you?
I'm sure there is. There's some stuff that's very hurtful, and I won't discuss that, but there's some stuff that's hurtful. To your family, your friends, other families and friends, and I had 2 different pastors. I said, "How do you confront this thing?" And they said, "You don't. People that know you, and they know it ain't true." So there's some stuff like that, and then no matter what you do, you got people. It's going to be against you. You could have the cure for cancer, and they'd be mad at you for having the cure of cancer, and there ain't nothing you can do to win some people over. And then no matter what line of business you can't make everybody happy, so you're going to have people, it's
well, especially your line of business.
Exactly.
But you kind of beat around the bush right there. What is something that people say about you that
just funny? You have a funny thing.
Yeah. Now, if you ain't noticed, I'll lose my. I'm kind of.
I did notice. That's why.
A squirrel over. I'm bad for that.
That's why I kind of tried bringing you back in.
Man, listen, ain't nobody will make fun of themselves more than me. I don't care.
The hardest thing anybody can do is talk about themselves.
But I'm sure there's. I guess I get more aggravated of the people, because I really do work hard, and then when people say we're not doing this or we're not doing that, or they've complained about this, and I've never heard that complaint before.
Right.
So I ain't really got nothing crazy that I can think of right off the bat.
Well, John, he just had that signed picture like the day
I had
before.
to ask about that too.
So I think he got a kind of a quick out on that one.
Well, but to be honest with you, he done the best thing you could do with that.
Yeah, no, because it was so funny because we all looked at that and I was like, man, he's had to do this on purpose. Why would you take a picture of this? But that's just his demeanor. Like
because he just embraced it.
Well, I mean, he's just one of those. We're going to tackle it right now, right up front. Set it aside. It's done.
Yep.
And it was pretty neat. So we've got about 4 minutes before a break. I don't know that anybody got a vote other than you.
I think you was the only one.
Huh. It was only you.
Only me. All right, people.
Tons of fours.
Hey, listen, you've won this election tonight.
And I think that's the first time this has ever happened.
Yeah,
all the votes.
Normally, you get at least one or two.
Yeah, my wife must not be watching because she's a diehard number 2 on the votes.
Yeah.
This has never happened. So
well.
So let's explain for the people that are watching for the first time.
Ain't gay either.
We do the Wheel of Misfortune when we come back from the break, where we spin the wheel. Whoever wins gets to spin the wheel. Whatever it lands on, they can choose to do, or they can do one of the nasty jelly beans or hot jelly beans. Normally, we don't get this big of a break, so I'm kind of excited that we have people on that people want to vote for other than us. So that's kind of a big deal. But before we go to the break, just to kind of, we need the people watching. Right now, there's over 80 people watching, something like that. If you guys have questions, please bring them to Bill. Bill wants to be here to answer your questions. He said what he found unique about the podcast is he wasn't here just to talk to you guys. He wanted to hear your questions, and he wanted to address them.
Yeah.
That's why he came on the show tonight, is so that he can be transparent and let you guys know exactly his feelings about what he could fix, or even whatever critiques you have.
Right.
We'd like to hear them.
And, I was really looking forward, because when I ran 4 years ago, you'd see those other counties, they had debates. And I thought, man, we need that. So people can ask questions,
Didn't you run and try to get a debate when you ran?
We mentioned it to several people. Could you get a debate up? But so I was looking forward, because our main thing, other than what we put out in newspaper and ads and this and that, when we go to all these events, it's you get to stand up there and say what you want to say. There's no questions. You can say anything you want to say, and whether it's true or not, and you don't ask questions. Okay, you're saying this, explain that. Or you're accusing me of this, let me explain that.
Yeah.
And I was looking so forward to that, and I hate that we didn't get to have it.
I'm sorry that we couldn't.
Well, I mean, it seems like your opposition is scared of a little debate.
Hey, listen, disclaimer. That's Jericho's disclaimer for the night.
But that's what we're afraid to come and talk, even in a neutral thing, because we don't bash anybody.
Right.
It shows a lot who they are.
Yeah.
Because like we say, our job isn't to beat down anybody. There's no gotcha moments on the show. We want to showcase you the very best way we can.
Yeah.
If the people want to call out something that's for them to do. That's not for us. We treat everybody.
And with all the comments coming in, stuff like that, like, you say you do win. I think you're going to. You get to see all this. You get to read all this, and this is going to give you an idea of what you can do the next 4 years.
Exactly.
Because this right here, this is your community.
Right.
Sylvia says you can put a sign in her yard if you have any.
I'll take you up on that.
All right, guys. So let's just go ahead and go to our break now. That way we can come back a minute earlier and get the questions started.
Sounds good.
The Great American Beater Bash, where memories are made and mistakes may happen.
Everybody needs to know May 2nd. That's Derby Day. Derby Day. Think Derby Day. Derby Day.
Let's
Derby
go!
Day. Influencer class. That's my shtick at this demolition derby that I'm doing. I'm bringing in some people in the entertainment space, if you will, to come and drive their first demolition derby. You can literally go out and buy a $500 shunt box. It may have fourth gear out, whatever. You're not going to need it. And then you do a very basic preparation and bring it, and you pay $40 for a chance at $1,000.
Mortal Theory.
We've got concessions, and then the Wicked Wieners truck's going to be there slinging hot dogs, slinging some glizzies. Freeman Brothers is sponsoring a car. I've got Boom Bad Fireworks sponsoring a car. Charlie Mike's at Dispensary is sponsoring a car. Mortal Theory themselves is sponsoring a car. There's going to be a Mortal Theory car. The list goes on. If anybody wants to sponsor one of these cars, this is the deal. I am sourcing the cars, preparing the cars, and then having them painted. And then the influencer, which we can match influencers to sponsors. There's no real feasible reason not to come. Unless
That's what she said.
yeah, to come. But
Come join the event and invite all your friends.
come see me at the Great American Beater Bash, Litchfield, Kentucky, May 2nd, Grayson County Fairgrounds, where legends are made.
Located at 511 South Main Street, Corbin, Kentucky, Sugar Booger's Custom Cakes has been bringing delicious treats to the Tri-County area for over a decade. Whether it be a cupcake, cookie, cake pop, brownie, or a signature one-of-a-kind custom cake that will be the star of any event, Sugar Boogers has you covered. Easy online ordering with polite, knowledgeable staff guaranteed to make each experience easy and stress-free. Go check them out on Facebook or give them a call for a free estimate. Sugar Boogers Custom Cakes for all occasions, 606-344-6595.
Are you looking for somewhere in Corbin, Kentucky to host your next event? Here we have it at Harvey's on Main at 115 Main Street. Let's check it out. Step into timeless charm and unforgettable elegance at this stunning historic venue. With breathtaking architectural details and an inviting open floor layout, Harvey's is the perfect setting for your next special event. Delight in the breathtaking bar complete with tap, a fully equipped kitchen for seamless catering, clean and accessible restrooms, a beautiful elevated stage for speakers, performers, or presenters. And for weddings and formal events, relish in the comfort and privacy of the bridal suite. Whether you're hosting an intimate gathering or a large celebration, Harvey's on Main provides the perfect scene to create lasting memories. Thoughtfully designed by the owner, who will be by your side every step of the way to ensure all your wants and needs are met. Book today and let Harvey's bring your vision to life.
Are you a jerky jerk?
You're holding it, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Just give me 1 second.
RJ's Beef Jerky. Real jerky for real jerky jerks.
Can you give me a piece?
Yeah, of course.
Kick off your boots, come gather round. We're digging up secrets that can't stay down. Bigfoot's out there in the midnight air. Aliens watching from who knows where. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, aliens, CIA. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul is gonna tell you why. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien secrets to break. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. Footsteps in the woods, lights in the sky. Some call it crazy, we just ask why. Laugh if you wanna, but you just might see there's more to the world than they want it to be. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien secrets to break. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. Truth or a tale, come and see. We're gonna have some fun, y'all.
In a world where feelings are protected and men have traded big, beautiful beards for man purses and man buns, comes to you a podcast you always wanted and never knew you needed. A podcast where feelings are left at the door and conversations happen unfiltered and no sugarcoating. What is going on, No Sugarcoating Podcast fans? Paul Buchanan wanted to reach out. The month of April is going to be full of candidates. We're going to see a lot of different people from a lot of different positions running, primarily in Laurel County and the surrounding areas. The No Sugarcoating Podcast crew wanted to let you know that we are by no means journalists. Do not come to our show expecting breaking news in regards to what's going on in the elections. We simply have discussions. We are not journalists. We are not a news show. We have discussions. We set our candidates in front of a screen where they can read the messages and they can answer the ones they want to. And we try to include the people watching's questions to the candidates. However, we're unable to get to all of them, and some of the questions the candidates cannot answer. They're just legally bound to not answering the questions. Again, and we can't make them tell the truth either, guys. So, just wanted to kind of let you guys know ahead of time. Hopefully, you'll see this before every episode of a candidate. But, yeah, guys, we're not a news crew. We don't pretend to be journalists. We have discussions. We try to bring out the best of everyone that comes here. We have no gotcha that we're trying to do to any candidate. With that said, I hope you guys enjoy the podcast. Have a great day. All right, guys, we are back, and we have Sheriff Bill Elliotte with us. This is the hour of questions that we always try to bring out. That way anybody that has any questions can ask them, and we can see if we can get some answers. So, I always get the first question.
Yeah, but we always got the wheel first.
Oh, that's right, the wheel. We got the wheel first. I'm sorry.
I've already moved it over here. He's ready.
I didn't even see it.
So like we said, you got to spin the wheel regardless. Whatever it lands on, you can decide to do what it says or eat a jelly bean.
I don't like eating nasty stuff.
So, well, let's spin the wheel then. I'll hold it for you.
Probably wearing somebody's socks for gloves.
Let's see.
Can't read it.
Oh,
move it.
Of the pettiest thing you've ever done.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. There's so many of them. Lord. Oh.
Let me just say, that didn't go unnoticed, but I appreciate that. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Oh, there's plenty of them. I'm put on the spot, so I'm having trouble thinking of a good one. Oh, Lord. Petty.
What's something petty? And it could be professional or personal.
Goodness gracious.
Well, I think that we need to hear a story about your wife, because I think everybody has a petty wife story. Like, my wife hates when I do stuff, and I do it anyways because I'm kind of petty about stuff like that.
Yeah, me too.
Oh.
We didn't even get into that, so that'd be my first question.
I guess, and it ain't that exciting. I guess a petty thing I do, and you're wanting a wife story, would be, I guess, I'll say, I'm not listening to you. So that's pretty petty, I guess. And, of course, that don't go over well.
No.
Yeah, she was trying to tell me how I don't listen or something. I don't know. I wasn't listening too well.
Well, yeah.
She was thinking you were going to let something go. She goes, here we go. So let that be my first question. Bill, tell us about your family.
I'm married to Elliotte. She's a physician assistant. She works at Baptist Health. She also works in nursing home. My oldest son is Jeremy. He's married to Haley, former Mahan of Williamsburg, and I have a gorgeous, almost 3-year-old granddaughter that I think the world of. My youngest son, I guess, his name's Reed, and I guess I should have told a little more when I was telling you about me earlier. Reed's a freshman at Corbin High School, but when Reed was born, he had a lot of medical issues, and when he was born on a Monday, and done surgery on him on a Friday, and inserted a dialysis tube. And when on Friday, he began dialysis, and he's born on Monday. So he was on dialysis till he's 2.5 years old. And when he's 2.5 years old, he had to have a kidney transplant. And I was fortunate enough to be a match, and I was able to give him my kidney.
Let me just say,
Wow.
Reed's an amazing guy. He's an amazing guy. He could write a book right now.
He does. He's been on he's on Ellen's show.
He's on the Ellen
as a
show.
presidential expert. He's been on Dr. Phil's show. But the big story too, after the kidney transplant, they put you on these medications, and we know there's a lot of side effects with medications, and one of them for his anti-rejection meds for his kidney was lymphoma. So at 6 years old, he was diagnosed with lymphoma. We've spent 3 months or so in Cincinnati Children's while he underwent chemo and lost his hair and went through the whole cancer treatment. And then we was clear at the 6-month scan after he was better. And then at 6 months, we went back and his cancer was back. And they told us how bad it was going to be this time. We had recently got saved, and he wanted to come home. That was on a Friday evening at 5 o'clock. They wanted immediately. We come home for him to be baptized on Saturday, and he had to be back Sunday. And we get back, and basically the Lord healed him. They done a surgery and a biopsy, and there was cancer there. He got sick, and they couldn't start chemo. By the time he was healed, they scanned him again, and all of his cancer was gone. So,
praise the Lord.
Yeah, so we're very fortunate, and like you said, a lot of people know Reed. He's all over the place.
Well, I seen you get emotional just talking about it.
Well, the kidney is so many people are looking for one and can't get it, and I was fortunate I was a match. So
I just say he's amazing.
Oh, he is
amazing guy. Him and I don't know. I think that we met at your son's wedding. I was their DJ.
Yeah,
you may not know.
I'd
that.
forgot that.
You might not know that, but I dabble in a little.
Yeah,
little other things. But I met him then, and he was telling me about the Ellen show and this and that. And then him and I started following one another. Now this guy he's amazing. He's he's in Tennessee at Loretta Lynn's place. He's down with Jimmy Carter's stuff. He's been more places than I have. And how old is he?
He'll be 16 Sunday. So.
Oh wow, he's got a birthday coming up.
This Sunday. He was in Nashville 2 weeks ago, recording his first album in Nashville. So. Yeah. I forgot to mention my mother. My mom's still alive. She lives in Williamsburg, and I lost my dad in 2004. I didn't want to leave my family out.
I'm glad that you mentioned, man. I'm sorry about losing father.
Yeah, I got one sister and several nephews,
and they're all right here, right around Whitley County.
Pretty much, yeah.
So that's awesome. Jeremy is an amazing person too. Bill's done a heck of a job with them boys, is what Dougie Jones says.
Yeah,
It definitely sounds like it.
well, I appreciate it.
I'm surprised Dougie reached out to me while John was on the show and wanted me to do the Cupid on John. I didn't get the private message this time, so I don't know what.
Well, listen, I saw Dougie up at the rodeo here a couple weeks or 2 or 3 weeks ago, whenever it was, and if anybody don't know Dougie Jones and hadn't had the privilege of working with him, he can make work a fun place to be.
Yeah,
he is one of a kind.
I've got some stories that can't be shared on the podcast that involve that guy, and whoo, it's had its moments. So we've spoke about the family, spoke about your intentions. Let me ask you this. No, Bill would enjoy that too much. Anyways, so what are we don't have Scott here to ask him about what he was going to do, but you've heard, his plans and everything else.
I have.
Through the pie auctions and stuff. How do you feel about the things that he's mentioned that he'd like to change or do different or whatever?
Well, every one of them, he has about 5 points that he hits, and that's why I was looking forward to this, because it's one of those things. Okay, explain. I would like him and me together on our different views. Okay, you explain why you're saying this, or I'll explain why this is. So, I just wish we were able to do that. And a lot of it is, when I ran 4 years ago, I never thought I'd ever run for anything where you've got voted for. I didn't think I could ever win anything, to be honest with you. But when I was a state trooper, I done my job, but I was fair. So I thought, man, I'll never get elected for anything. But I was very transparent. So I run a newspaper ad showing who my chief deputy was. I think I announced to other people that I knew was going to work for me. Dave Laster, he was a former trooper. He come to work for me. I think I put all that. But I was always transparent with everything I do. And some of the things that we hear at these auctions, and there's 5 specific ones that it's over and over, so I don't care to address them. But one of them, the very first one, is the school resource officers in the school. And I don't know how. I was SRO, and I take the schools very serious, but the Whitley County's SROs were under the Sheriff's Department. So when it come time to renew the contract last year, and it ain't the school's fault, guys, they're getting mandated to have SROs, but they ain't sending funding to it. So as funds become available is kind of how they word a lot of that stuff. So the SROs were under the Sheriff's Department, and that was fine, and I really enjoyed that. But when it come time to redo the contract, basically the schools would pay the Sheriff's Department the salary and the benefits for the officers. They would let them fuel their car at the bus garage for that expense, but everything else come out of the Sheriff's Department's budget. So you got to imagine 5 cruisers, and they don't have to have new cruisers, but our last cruisers we bought we bought 5, I think, Durangos. The last Durangos we bought on the road, once they're equipped and on the road, are over $60,000 a piece. And so we furnish all equipment.
So that's $300,000.
Yeah, and that ain't an every year expense, of course, because them cars would last SROs a long time. But you got to imagine, we figured it up. It takes to have all the equipment, body cameras, tasers, rifles, everything you need. It takes somewhere, best we could figure up, around $8,000 to equip each officer. So when we're in negotiations on the contract, really the only thing that changed from year to year, I just had to put an engine, replace an engine in one of the SRO's truck. He was in a truck. Another one, in less than a month, had to put a motor in a Dodge Charger. And you're talking $3,000-$4,000 expenses.
Right.
So during the negotiation, I said, you're all going to have to either, one, buy some cars for the schools, or pay us mileage, and we'll do everything else for them. And it kind of went back and forth. So a lot of people don't even know it, but Whitley County has a Whitley County Police Department. And the only person on that department is the director of 911. And as far as I know, the only other person that ever was a member of that other than whoever's directed 911 is Scott, was the one running for sheriff.
So let me just clarify. There's a Whitley County Sheriff's Department.
Yes.
And a Whitley County Police Department.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that people knew there was a separation.
There is. And so at some point, the only other person I ever know of being under that, other than whoever at the time is director of 911, is Scott Bunch, the one running for sheriff. He was under it for a year or so as a school resource officer under Colin Harold's term in office. There was an issue there, and they put Scott under the Whitley County Police Department. But after Todd Shelley became sheriff, they moved him over to the sheriff's department. So I guess they knew that option was available, so they approached the judge, executive, and magistrates about maybe going to the Whitley County Police Department instead of the sheriff's department. And I will tell you this, anybody that knows me, that's why I don't pay a lot of attention. People can say, well, the people that know you. So the schools, I would never let the schools go. I'm being basically accused of letting the schools not be covered, be safe. Contract or no contract, the SROs would have been there. But they approached the county, and the county agreed to let them come under the Whitley County Police Department. And then the physical court ended up buying them some vehicles. And basically the physical court, by doing that, the physical court picked up the expenses that the sheriff's department were losing. And it ain't just here. When this all started, I called the executive director of the Sheriff's Association. If I have a major issue, he's the first person I call. And he said, it's funny you called me today. He said, I just addressed the magistrates and the judge executives. They're having their conference, and I had to stand before them all yesterday and address this very issue. He said, it ain't just there. He said, it is all over the state. These issues are all over the state. He said, our suggestion is that these schools, the fix is the schools start their own police departments. So if you know right here around us, all the schools, Corbin's got their own police department. Macquarie County's got its own police department. Laurel County's got its own school police department. He said that's the only way this is going to be fixed. So the schools are so important to me, but so I kind of wish I still had them under me, but that don't stop me. I'm still in the schools. And I'll be honest with you, I still find ways. I'm doing things to protect the schools. Have y'all ever heard those saying we had card-carrying deputies back in the day, like a sheriff could make? Mm-hmm. Well, back in the day, they could make however many they had. So we have people in these schools that are trained. We got former police officers in some of these schools that's been academy trained and worked for years as police officers. We got people that's in the military that's been trained. And so by statute now, I can only have 10 special deputies. And so I have used a number of those. And I have officers, like if you've got a school teacher, why shouldn't he's trained, why shouldn't he be armed in the school? And see, nobody should ever know he's there armed in the school.
Right.
And so I've got in several different schools, I used a few of those positions. There's people that I trust that I've made a special deputy in order for they can be armed and help protect the schools more. Now, I do miss having the SROs under me, but I guess one of the things he says at these meetings is the very first thing he's going to do is get the school resource officers back under the sheriff's departments where they belong. Well, according to the executive director, their suggestion for the whole state is each department start their own police department. But they're kind of there, although they're under the police department, they're kind of their own entity now because there's nobody else there other than the director of 911. So I don't care, like I said, I don't care to address any of these head on. Here's why this happened. The superintendent right now, if he has issue or if he has something needs to know, he calls me. If I need to know something, call him. So there's no hard feelings between us. It's just they think the financial side is better for them being under the Whitley County Police Department because it don't cut into our funding and the county's still supplementing their funding.
So to kind of wrap it up, what you're saying is that the school didn't want to pay the sheriff's department what the sheriff's department needed to take on the SROs, and so the fiscal court used the Whitley County Police Department as a way to put money in for the schools to have SROs to make up the shortcomings that the schools couldn't pay for. Is that what you're saying?
That is what I'm saying. And you got to understand the school side of it too. Like I said, they're being mandated to have these things, but they're not giving the funding to them. So you kind of understand where they're trying to get as much help as they can help, you know?
Right.
So I understand that, but that's one of the things that's been tried to be used as a weapon against me during this election is I give up the school resource officers. I did not give up the school resource officers.
Well, I'm glad that's the first thing you tackle because, again, this is coming from a former school resource officer.
Correct.
You know?
And how can you try to mandate something when they know there's no funding for it?
That's what legislatures do.
Oh, yeah, I know. I know.
That's the first item he usually addresses. The second one, he's drug detective. He references DESI, which is our drug enforcement section of the state police. He has a former officer from DESI who's agreed to come to work for him. Now, I'm not going to say names. I know who that is. And there's issues why, I don't know, but he will not name who that is. Then the third item is he first started calling it a robbery detective, but in reality it was a burglary detective. And he's going to have that, a 30-year veteran. I know who that is. I talked to that guy. He said he's not going to work there. But the bottom line is on these three things, you're mentioning a drug detective, you're mentioning a burglary or robbery detective, and you've got a chief deputy. None of those have been named.
But how are you going to pay for those?
Right. And I'll be honest with you. When I first took office, I brought two guys on. One, once we got on our feet, he was going to go strictly drugs, and the other was going to go strictly detective. Our call volume was so high that they had to answer calls too. So it's hard with the volume of calls we get. But my question is, if you're not going to be transparent with who you're going to hire during an election, if you can't be transparent with, hey, I'm hiring this person, I put mine in the paper 4 years ago. So if you can't be transparent with your voters before you get elected, how are you going to be? Are you going to be transparent if you get elected? How? I mean, that's a little confusing to me.
Well, like you said, if the department only has to work around a certain kind of budget, and this is just kind of bringing in what Ronnie's saying, so you're going to take three people from a department that has finally started finding its groove,
right?
And
replace let them go.
Yeah,
replace them with people that.
I mean, even if he's saying he's going to add them, these are detectives. That's a higher pay, right? Burglary detective.
Yeah.
No, it's a robbery detective.
Okay, robbery detective. My bad.
I'm just teasing.
But yeah, so those are higher paid positions, and that would be more skilled. That would be somebody that would be investigating, went through criminal justice, whatever things they would have done. Where's that money coming from if we only have the money for 10 deputies?
Yeah.
Right. Well, like you said.
You're going to have to fire some deputies.
Yeah, I mean, it may take 4 deputies to replace 3, right?
I mean, you'd have to cut the 21 hour out to pay the salary guys.
Yeah.
That's
It's a
wild dance.
And one of the things I say about sheriff's departments in Kentucky, and I said this to Jerry Wagner, he's over the executive director. I said, sheriff's departments in the state are set up for failure. You don't realize this when you're running until you get in there and see how the budget runs. The sheriff's department, the only time we have excess money is when tax season's here. And so we don't start collecting taxes till October the 1st. You don't get your first part of that till the middle of November. And by January 1st, the sheriff's departments have to have $0. You have to have a zero budget come January the 1st. So the only time we've got money to spend extra money is
Christmas.
we listen. We take all of our uniform orders. We order unless something gets damaged in the meantime. But we make all of our uniform. All of our big purchases happen in those 6 weeks because that's where. But now I'll be fair. We're very fortunate. Any money I turn over, ever since I've been in office and even before that, it's technically called excess fees. But you think I couldn't? Let's say I turn over $150,000 that I have to turn over to the court because that's my excess fees, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Technically, it is. But you don't think I couldn't spend that money on the stuff we need? I could, but if I don't intentionally hold so much money and turn over, the physical court has always give it back to us, and so that starts us out. The sheriff's department's, I don't know if you know, it's got they have to borrow money the first of every year to run, and then you pay it back in October and November through a program. Yeah.
So
it's
so
called
you
a
have
state
to.
advancement. It's called a state advancement.
You have to be broke in January, and then you have to borrow money.
Yes, sir.
That makes no sense.
Well, hold on. So what is there interest on that? So who's making that money back?
It's crazy. And when I learned all this after I took office, stuff you think would be easy, I told the executive director, I said, it's like we're set up for failure. He said, that's what I tell everybody. The way they're set up, he said, you're set up for failure. But I give our fiscal court, they've always give that money back to us. So technically it's excess fees, but if I don't intentionally hold that money and turn it over, knowing they're going to give it back, because they don't have to give it back, but they always have. So, yeah, somebody said, well, that's excess fees. You didn't spend it. You must not need it. No, I needed it bad. I could have spent every dime, but then I wouldn't have it to get back. So
John, when he was on here, though, he was mentioning that he got all of his stuff with drug money.
Yeah. Now, they got a big department. They got a lot bigger department than we do. You know, they got such a big.
So how does that work, though? I mean, is that the excess fees that collect?
Now, our drug money is in a separate account, and we can use that, but it can't be used for salaries, and it can only be used for certain things. We're mandated by what we can spend that money on. Salary is not one of them.
But vehicles are, though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
If you have a big enough drug fund, you can.
So vehicle maintenance and stuff like that. You can.
So we need to get out here and do some drug busts.
Yes, we do. We do that. And it is. That was 3 of the things of the 5 he addresses, and I'd like to. And that's why I was hoping he is here. I want him to tell his side on this.
Right.
One of the things, and I know where this is coming from. He's like, all money will be spent in Whitley County. If you're a taxpayer in Whitley County, your money should be spent here in Whitley County. Well, I know where that's coming from. But I'm going to ask you this. Where can I buy a new cruiser in Whitley County? No, you can't. Where can I buy our uniforms in Whitley County? I can't. Where can I buy gun belts and guns? I can't. There's nowhere it sells them, okay? So our office supplies, they come from where everybody else's does. Like everybody comes from Amazon. We call, they deliver, you know.
Right.
So the biggest thing, he said, all the money's going to be spent in Whitley County, and that's coming from back in the day. One local business done all the maintenance on all the vehicles and whatnot. So when we bought our new cars, they basically come from Don Franklin. They got a fleet program, and that's who we have to go through. They get a state contract price. So when we got these new vehicles, I was told by deputies that still work for me about he said, man, we'd tell them we need oil change. They said, just drive it. We'll get it later. I mean, we got to have these cars, and these cars are important. Our guys are running signal, lights and siren to emergency calls, so we got to have dependable vehicles. But when we bought these vehicles, these new vehicles, I started having them serviced at Don Franklin because they're under warranty. And
right.
I thought, well, if there's any issues, they'll be the one doing the work. And the service manager, he's from here in Corbin. So we leave a cruiser at his house. When somebody needs something done, they'd drop their car off, pick the loaner car up. He would take it and service it, bring it back. So they're not out of service. They'll usually do it their days off. They'll come get that old spare, drive it home. He'll take theirs, service it. But it was all, I wanted it warranty-wise. That's one, but that's not it. The mechanic that takes care of the cruisers up there. If I take a car to where they used to take it, not that they're bad people, they're not. But if I say on an oil change, that's what you get. You got an oil change. If I take it to the guy that's been servicing the state police cruisers, I helped set that relationship up back in 1998 with the service manager and the mechanic then. When you take a car in and tell him, he goes through every bit of it because he knows how important that car is to our guys. But that car ain't just important for the safety of my guys. That car is also going to bring them to you when you need an emergency. So I'll take that head on. I send my cars up there because, first of all, they were under warranty. And second of all, I know the service. I know when I get a car back from there that it's been gone through top to bottom. So really, when he talks about spending all the money, it'll be spent in Whitley County, the only thing he can be referring to is our cruisers not being serviced here, because that does go to Don Franklin, and I do that for those two reasons.
Well, the quality care right there in Winsburg is normally what services most of them.
They used to service a lot, and now we still, I'll send something to, Owens is up here. We buy tires. They're local, so they're authorized on a state contract. We need to go up there and get you a set of tires. Being down there, I'll say, go up to quality care, get them fix that tire, get them to do whatever.
Well, like you said, it's you want preventative maintenance done too,
right?
And and that's a big deal because what if somebody recognizes something as a taxpayer? I want somebody that if they hear a tick, they're like, hey, listen, we can fix this right now, and it only costs us $150.
Yeah,
we let this go on. This is going to be a $600,000 fix.
When I took off,
somebody stranded on the road.
Which I don't know. Scotty there at Quality Care, man, he's good.
They got some good people. But let me tell you what I did encounter, and my guys can tell you this. We've encountered, and you got to imagine, a lot of them cars when they took office, they're old, they're going to require a lot of maintenance. But I had two different cars that had mismatched brake rotors on them when we had to have brakes replaced on them.
Wow.
Two different mismatched rotors. One of them, according to one of the deputies that works for me now, they're all-wheel drives. Instead of fixing the problem, the axles was just taken out of the front. So then it was a all-wheel drive car, but then technically it's just a rear-wheel drive car. So, and I don't know. I'm just telling you what some of the deputies that here told me. But the mechanic, I trust him so much. And since then, and I took another pat on the back for this. His son was just little when I met him. The mechanic himself, his son is now a state trooper because I influenced him, he said, in his years. So his dad knows the importance of these police cars. He works for Don Franklin. So they're where they were purchased. They're under warranty. And the guy doing it does excellent work. And he's not going to put my guys out in a vehicle that's not safe. And I don't care if I had to drive it to Lexington. If I know my guys are going to be running signal in a car, I want it to be safe. And if I have to take it to Lexington, I'm going to take it to Lexington. If I buy something local, I can. But all these things I mentioned to you, and that's where, so to hit that point, what am I not buying local other than vehicle maintenance, And his final always is on the bookkeeper. We had an issue back in the fall and in our office, and me and my chief deputy, we knew we needed a bookkeeper. Things just kind of got away. I'm not going to mention names, but there's some stuff that happened that required attention. And when I brought accountability to the department, it ain't just for officers. It's for my court security officers. It's for my front office. It's for the deputies. It's for all of us. It's for me. And so Williamsburg has old-fashioned days, and they shut the courthouse down on Friday. A lot of this come about on a Thursday. And the bookkeeper said, why don't you just fire me? And it went back and forth. I said, listen, we're closed tomorrow. Then I had to leave Sunday to go to sheriff's conference. I said, I'm going to be gone all week next week. We'll deal with this when I get back. And so she was supposed to show up. It's a day of training at the sheriff's conference, and didn't show up. And my chief deputy called and said she resigned. And then she took one of the other girls. There's only three. Took one of them. They resigned, and it was.
You're speaking on something that you spoke of earlier. This is when you were talking about John Root, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is 2.5 weeks before tax season, the busiest time of the year, and taxes are so important. So I'm at sheriff's conference, get a call, hey, she's resigned and this one's resigned. I'm panic mode because taxes start in 2.5 weeks, and I'm just like, what are we going to do? And that's when I reach out to John and these other sheriffs. Oh, we'll get you through this, So come back, and not only did she resign, but we didn't get passwords. We were denied passwords. We were assigned access to all the computer programs, so we had to go through and reset all this stuff up because of a disgruntled employee took the passcodes and all that with them. So when we go to these, he keeps talking that he's going to bring the former bookkeeper back that was there under the last 3 sheriffs, including this one. That's who's going to come back and do his books. And nothing against them. It just, the atmosphere in the office wasn't that great. So
well, I mean,
we have rebuilt that office. And
you're a great guy and probably wouldn't say it, but as somebody on No Sugarcoating podcast, I don't think I would want that person back. I mean, if they
weren't getting a good reference.
Exactly. But
I mean, you leave somebody in a bad shape. I don't care how mad you are at somebody. When you get ready to leave, they need to. It's that old.
You should give up the passwords at least, right? I mean, that's.
You just don't realize how many different passwords and stuff there was in that office, and so it's just. I don't know where I was going with that. We have rebuilt that office. That's since when I brought the one I said I was in sixth grade. That's one working for him. One of the ones working in the office now. Everything is going very smooth. And there's a lot of people working the courthouse, and I've had so many people from across the hall, from other offices. Man, the atmosphere in your office is so much better, and because you ain't got all that negativity in there. So I'm proud of where we was. So those were the 5 things he keeps addressing. But and also some of the deputies we hear he's going to bring back. It's the people. He's wanting to bring back people that I would not let work for me or we got rid of. And so then you're going to bring back. So if he was to get elected, why would you step backwards instead of forward? I want to keep moving forward. I don't want to bring these people back. One of them that I was told, apparently on his way home from work, he would stop, take his uniform shirt off, but be in a cruiser and go buy his beer on his way home. Somebody does that in my department, they're fired immediately. We don't tolerate that. So
right.
Why would you want to bring these people back where we've moved so far forward?
See, and that's kind of what you get. You get people that kind of hold on to something, and it's like when you bring in somebody new, it's like, okay, you've had 4 years to kind of weed out and build your department. It sounds like you did it from ground zero.
Yeah.
And you've went on and you fixed, the evidence and stuff like that. In my mind, if you talk about bringing back those people, then you bring back those bad habits, where it's like, okay, well, now all this time you spent working on the evidence room or whatever and all this other stuff, Wheeler County is going to have to relive.
Right.
For 4 years.
Before I took office, and you're just going to think what I'm telling you is not the case. But before I took office, most people knew if they wasn't going to be there, they wasn't going to be there, so they chose to leave. There was one that didn't leave, and to be honest with you, I always liked him, but he had developed a problem over the years and had been out of law enforcement. And the former sheriff brought him in a few months before I took office, even with the problem. So I took office. I said, I'm sorry, I don't have a job for you. And, he went on his way. A few weeks after leaving the sheriff's department, he overdosed in Laurel County. He didn't die, but he overdosed in Laurel County. During a search, at some point, the car he drove, heroin was found in his cruiser.
Oh wow!
Now, can we prove that? It could have been dropped evidence. You know, we didn't have nothing to charge him on. He had since left, but there was people working that couldn't pass a drug test.
And that shouldn't be.
Should never be.
Should never be. I mean, I'm somebody that believes that all police officers deserve respect, and and I'm not. Jericho watches those videos. I'm surprised he hasn't got on one of his rants tonight about it.
Yeah, you will.
Well, I mean, no. If you give respect, you deserve respect. That's any human being. But there's a lot of people that don't give respect, and I'm not giving them respect.
I told you pulled the chain.
Yeah, I had to get him started.
Yeah.
Guys, if you don't have a standard and hold your guys to that standard, you can't have a department. If you let these guys do, here's the thing, I'll back my guys as far as I can back them when they're in the right. But if they're in the wrong, we hold them accountable. And you can't have it one way. You can't have their back every time and not have them, if they mess up. It's got to be both ways.
There's got to be integrity and accountability.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. They don't go out there just guns blazing.
Right. Miss Cox, that is rumored to be true.
But that's what makes things tough. Is like when you're saying, that we're gonna. Some people find comfort in, we're going to go back to the old ways, fellas. Everything's going to be like it was. But why would you want that?
Yeah.
Why are we not moving forward? Why would we want forward moving instead of we're going to go back?
Yeah.
There was when we took office, them guys could have left and took everything they had. There was no inventory of nothing. We don't know what's supposed to be there and what ain't other than stuff we found, but there was no inventory. My chief deputy can tell you wherever small piece of equipment in that department is, and he's got paperwork to prove it. And there was just so much that was not being done, and so.
Well, there was somebody earlier asked, how are you different from your
opponent?
Yeah, opponents.
Oppositions.
That'd be a good word. Like what are you doing, or what do you plan to do that makes you stand out different from them?
Well, I was told. Well, first of all, there's 3 candidates on the ballot.
Yeah.
No, I thought there was 2.
I only thought there was 2.
There's technically 3 candidates on the ballot. One is B.J. Leach, and
that's that guy that's always downtown.
Yeah,
right?
He's always downtown. He's ran since the 70s or 80s, so he runs around town on a motorized wheelchair.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know that guy.
And I was going up Town Hill one day. And he turned his wheelchair over going up Town Hill off the sidewalk, and we had to stop and get his wheelchair picked up. So there's technically three
he always runs, right?
Here's the difference, I think, between me and any other elected official, whether it's sheriff or what, in this county. I believe I don't care to butt heads with anybody. But if me and you're butting heads, we're not moving forward, if that makes sense. So I was told I don't need to butt heads with the people that write the checks. Okay? If the people that write the checks are wrong, I'm not just going to go along with it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And one thing I've learned in this county is, in all aspects of it, is I've always believed right's right, wrong's wrong, no matter who you are. In so many of these counties that we're in now, these small counties, it's right's wrong, depending on who you are. And it should never be dependent. I know a guy that I want to put in prison so bad over the years because some of the stuff he's done. But he recently was involved in something, and he was in the right. I was like, I will not arrest him for. It don't matter. You determine how I treat you, if that makes sense. But right should never depend on who you are. We had a situation, and it made me mad at one of the deputies. He called, and the way we do it here, like right now, if I'm not out or there's not a supervisor, one week I'm the on-call supervisor. The next week my chief deputy is. So had a unit call my chief deputy because he is on call. Said, "What do you want me to do in this situation?" He said, "I want you to do your job. If he deserves to go to jail, you take him to jail. If he don't, he don't." But all because of who it is, you know. And so I put on the bottom of my signs, committed to what's right. So if, in my opinion, the deputy shouldn't even called, he should have known where that would be. But if I show favoritism to you or him or this one, then I shouldn't even have that on my sign.
Right. Yeah, the favoritism is what gets a lot of people.
I agree with you. And there's nothing wrong with treating everybody good until the ones won't let you treat them good.
Right.
So you don't run by the good boy system, the good old boy.
You can ask anybody that works for me. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to give my deputy over the courthouse over there. He hired a new guy, and he was telling me, he asked that guy when he hired him, he said, "You ever worked for a sheriff before?" And the guy said, "No." He said, "Well, Bill ain't your typical sheriff." He said, "He does what's right and lets the chips fall for where they fall." And that's, to me, that was a huge compliment. And so that was a huge compliment right there to me.
So, and I'm glad your wife's watching because she's giving me talking points. I mean, you haven't once mentioned that you were a lieutenant in the Kentucky State Police. So you supervised all kinds of stuff. A lead, would you say, detective lieutenant?
Yes.
I mean, so, and plus you got this 4 years of experience. Like, experience is a big factor. And you supervising experience is what she pointed out is one of the big factors that separate the two of you.
Right.
Would you agree with that?
It is. I promoted through the state police. Like I said, I have, and there's different, like as a sergeant with the state police, there's at least 3 different jobs at a post for sergeants. Or, well, you'll have usually 3 or 4 squad sergeants, which is over squads or groups of people. You'll have a administrative sergeant who's over paperwork, evidence, and all that. You'll have a detective sergeant. So as a sergeant, I was a squad sergeant. I went to Columbia Post. That's what they offered me. I went over there for a year and got back here. So I was a squad sergeant. I was used to making schedules, running use of force, working accidents involving, anything supervisor related. I come back here, the only sergeant position at the time was administrative sergeant, which is totally behind the desk doing evidence, but that's what I had to do once I was able to move out of that. So I was a squad sergeant. I was a detective or administrative sergeant. As a lieutenant, each post has 2. There's one for administrative side or operations. Operations lieutenant, which is over the marked units or the road units, and the detective lieutenant. At different times I served at both of those. So on top of that, once you promote to sergeant, you go to sergeant's leadership or the leadership academy. I graduated from that. So I just didn't. And when I was a trooper, I was a hard charger. Everybody will tell you that I worked, but so I have a total of 35 years in law enforcement as of this past February. I've got 13 in supervision. I had 22 and a half with the state police total there. But that was one of the reasons I was hoping to have my opponent on here, because he has he has no supervision experience at all.
I wish he would have come. It would have been so good.
Yeah.
Well, we would have treated him as well as we treated you.
Oh, yeah.
Please, if you, and let me just say this while we have some people watching.
He still could
if
come
you,
on.
Yeah, you're still welcome to come on. Maybe not before the election because we're pretty busy, but if you want to come on our show and you're a candidate at Whitley County, we are taking Whitley County Wednesdays. Please reach out to us. We'll do our best to showcase you. And not try to run you in the ground. If you have something you'd like to say to your opponent, or if you'd like your opponent to come on here with you, please invite them with you.
Yeah.
We'll take both of you, all 3 of you. What is Bannister one got 5 people running for it in Whitley County right now? We'll have to pull up the seats. We'll have to get another couch.
I just want to see an actual debate.
Oh, I do too.
We'll treat them all the same. I would have loved to just been sitting over beside Paul and watching you 2 debate.
Well, the thing is, like I said earlier, you can say anything you want to say, but be willing to back it up and with facts and not just. I mean, the 5 issues I want to address, we've addressed here, and that's his 5 main issues, and that's why I want him here. I mean, why won't you say who these people are? Why won't you name who these people are? And so, I'm repeating myself. If you lack transparency in an election, you'll lack transparency if you're in office.
100%. 100%. Hey, we're running low on time, though. I do want to ask them questions.
Oh, hold on. What do you see?
The last question there. I meant to get to some of those. I know your time.
Go ahead. Most rewarding case you've solved or been involved in?
Listen, my first year in office, we had some nasty, nasty cases involving a lot of children. And one of my officers got a call from a teenager, a juvenile, missing hadn't seen her sibling that was in somebody else's custody. That child's call led to us out in the Daniel Boone National Forest at 4 a.m. digging a child out of the ground. Had been buried for 4 to 5 months. And to be able to bring justice to that.
Is that the one that was down there on Devil's Creek?
It was. And that was a very rewarding case. To be a part of the, oh my Lord, I can't believe it, the little girl that was beat to death, to be a part of that case. We'd only been in office like 6 weeks. We wasn't even on our feet good when we got that case. And me and Tony Dingus went to the hospital, and we made the decision to call the state police in on that one. That was a very good decision because they'd investigated a child he had murdered in Clay County and got away with. So this was his second child. They had already done it. But we were a big part of that.
I know that one too.
Yeah. And I'll just tell you how I work. As your sheriff, I led the investigation on the Charles Oler murder out here, across from Davis Salvage. It was a Saturday. It was cold and rainy. I was home. I heard my deputies get a call. They were on the south end of the county. I go dressed like I am now. I wasn't even in uniform. We just thought it was going to be a dead body the way it come in, like natural causes. And get there, and I immediately realized there's high velocity blood splatter here. So we literally had nothing for a couple of days. And it was a true whodunit, and we were able to make an arrest and get a confession in that case.
It was the daughter's boyfriend, wasn't it?
No, this one was his best friend. They got in a fight, and one thing led to the other. But I don't want to say much. We go to trial on that. We start May 5th, so we're actually going to trial on that May the 5th. So it'll be we have a trial on that. So
I always wondered what come about.
Yeah, Amara Smallwood is the little girl, and the other one was Chloe Darnell. I'll tell you what's funny. I've got or not funny. There's nothing funny about this. Just that shouldn't even how I said it, but in her little room, in Chloe's little room, there was a piece of paper that she had colored, and it had glitter on it with her name on it, and that's hanging in my office to this day with her name on it, and it's going to stay there until the ones responsible are gone for good. So I look at it every single day. If you come to my office, you're going to see Chloe on my office. And I remember being out in the middle of the National Forest at 4 o'clock in the morning, looking up at the sky, think, man, this ain't normal to be out here digging a child up out of the ground. So we've had some big cases, and I'm proud of what we've been able to do with them, because many of the other sheriff's departments that we've had here in the past would have tackled some of these cases that we've took on and solved. And so I'm proud of that.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you on. It's been a pleasure you being real. Like, you come on the show, and and not only have you just been spitting facts right after one after another, and telling everything what's going on, but you've been able to I think you've really connected with our people tonight. Certainly connected with me.
Yes,
I can tell you that. Just sitting in front of you, seeing your responses to how some of the cases and the memories they kind of dig up for you, is very telling to your integrity and your demeanor about things.
Well, grown man coming on this show, not scared to show your emotions and
Well, you can't.
everything. Like, I respect you.
You can't hide your emotions on some of this stuff.
No, you can't.
But I promise you this: if I'm reelected sheriff, we'll continue to hold the standard that we're holding, and we'll continue to improve the department, and I'll continue to work as hard as I do right now. And I'm going to say a name, and I know he won't care for me telling it. Y'all may know Tim McCulley. Used to own Body Shop down here. Tim and me's friends. And he said people was talking to him about the election. And he said, let me tell you what I like about Bill. He said, if you call him, he'll come sit at your table or on your couch and talk to you. He said, if I call him, he'll come sit at my table or my couch and talk to me. And that's true. Anybody that calls me, I ain't too good to come sit at your table or sit on your couch and listen to your concerns. And you should be able to get a hold of me. Now, it is very busy. If I don't answer my phone or something, please leave me a message. It might be tomorrow before I get back to you, but I promise you, I try to get back with everybody I can. And I think that is just, I tell everybody I'm an open book. I'm an open book. Whatever you want to know, I'm going to tell you. But I'm also going to stand against, if I need to butt heads, I'm going to butt heads before I'll give in to something that it ain't right. It's just the way it is. My people will tell you that.
So this is one of those shows that should have been 3 hours.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I feel like we're really getting the very best at the very end of the show.
Yeah.
Well, people probably don't know. And I come in and I said, man, I'm excited because I ain't never done a podcast before. I said, but I don't know why I'm nervous. And the first hour went by and I said, that flew by. And I think this one's went by even
quicker.
Quicker. Yeah.
Well, before we end it, there's 3 questions we do like to ask everybody.
Yep.
You should know, you know.
Yeah.
So, aliens. Do you believe in them?
I'm out.
I'm
No
gonna say,
aliens.
I'm going to say no across the board there.
No, I'm going to say evil spirits are real.
So, the paranormal. You know, evil spirits, ghosts, demons, angels.
Now, I believe in demonic spirits, you know, from, you know, so, but, you know.
Only one ghost.
Huh?
Only one ghost.
Yeah,
Only
not the ghost stuff. I do believe there's demonic spirits out here. Yeah.
Bigfoot.
You know.
Don't you do it, Bill Elliott.
Did I ever tell you about time?
Don't you do it, Bill Elliott.
Don't do it.
Did I ever tell you about the time I arrested Bigfoot?
No? What?
I did. I'm just being funny. No.
Well, we did the 4th question. Is there a number that anybody can call if they were to find the Sasquatch or whatever that you have to alert any Sasquatch hunters or something?
Well, let's
like
make
that?
it simple. I put this out there. If I put a newspaper ad, if it's on Facebook, it's on my business cards. If you spot a Bigfoot, call my cell phone. Or for any other reason, a lot of people have a work phone and a personal phone. I have one phone, and that's my personal cell phone, and that number is 606-620-7470. And whatever your problem is, if you have emergency, call 911. If it's something I can help you with, reach out to me. I don't care a bit to help you if I can. And I can't always help in every situation. I can't always have... I can't always get a 5-star rating. Sometimes I get a negative, but it's just nature of the beast.
So if somebody has a Bigfoot sighting, you want to be first on scene.
That's right. That's right.
Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. Bill, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
We've had a blast tonight. I'm really glad that we've started these Whitley County Wednesdays. Jericho, you want to wrap us up?
Yeah, I do want to let everybody know that we have officially kicked off our photography and videography part of the NSC media. So if you have anybody or if you yourself need any photography or videography needs, please reach out to us. We would glad to work with you.
Also, who do we have on the show Friday?
Friday, hold on one second. I'll tell you. We got Johnny Miller. No, wait. I'm on the wrong date.
London City Council member.
I think so.
Is going to be on the show Friday.
No, yeah. Is that Johnny Miller?
Yeah, I think so, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you have it on the calendar?
Yeah, I got it on my calendar. Johnny Miller.
Okay, well that's who it is then.
Is he running for council?
Running for council.
Yeah,
he is.
I didn't
he
think
was,
there was any
he was
actually on the council.
No, it is Johnny Miller. He will be on here Friday, 7 p.m.
And guys, I still won't back down from a debate if it was to happen.
Hey, listen, if he will agree, if he sees this and he's like, listen, Bill said this, this, and this, and I want to talk about, then just know, Scott, you're welcome, but Bill's coming too. You won't get the opportunity again by yourself. All right, guys. Thank you again so much for watching.
And reach out for all of your media needs.
We got you. Have a great night.
Keep staring at me.
Because you're a part of it.
We'll see you guys on Friday.
Are you a jerky jerk?
Oh, yeah. Dang it. Hey, let me get a piece. No can do. This is my last piece of RJ's beef jerky.
RJ's Beef Jerky. Real jerky for real jerky.